New videos every day.
Today, we're going to talk about the cultural icon of nurses, the origin of nurses, the evolution of the nurse's uniform, and how nurses got sexy. We're also going to look at lots of pictures of nurses, some real nurses, and some sexier costume nurses. The origins of nurses and the origins of the nurses' uniforms aren't so sexy at all. In fact, the first nurses were nuns. You may have noticed that a lot of hospitals are named after saints, like St. David's, St. Catherine's, etc. Well, that's because for centuries, before we had secular hospitals, sick or ill people were taken care of by churches. Traditionally, sick people were taken care of by nuns. In 1860, Florence Nightingale opened the first nursing school, and one of the school's first students designed the original nursing uniform. The uniform itself is actually a variation of a nun's uniform, known as a habit. Historically, the nurse's uniform consisted of a dress, an apron called the pinafore apron, and of course, a nurse's cap. Nursing caps have gotten smaller over time, but there are alterations of a nun's hat, and there is actually some ceremony surrounding nursing caps. You see, when a nurse graduates nursing school, she earns her nursing cap, and there is a graduation ceremony where she gets her cap, called a capping ceremony. Nursing uniforms have been around since the 1860s. I couldn't find any pictures earlier than the 1900s, but here are some pictures of the evolution of nursing uniforms from the year 1900 until present day. And later, we'll look at some pictures of some sexy costume nurses. One popular type of a nursing uniform is called a candy striper. This uniform is red and white and kind of looks like a candy cane. But a candy striper isn't actually a real nurse. It's actually just a volunteer that helps the hospital under the direction of a real nurse. The striped uniform helps the doctor and the patients tell the difference between a trained nurse and a volunteer. How did nurses get sexy? Well, there are a few reasons for this. First off, in the modern age, women doctors are more common, but that isn't always the case. If you go back in time a little bit, the only two people that could ethically see you naked were, well, your wife and a nurse. So you might get a cute nurse, even though acting in a professional capacity. Giving a guy a sponge bath might develop a little bit of a sexual stigma around it. But the real way that nurses got naughty can be blamed on popular culture and entertainment. Between 1880 and 1930, there was a traveling entertainment act called vaudeville. And one of the popular acts was a voluptuous, suggestively dressed nurse. When the nurse character entered the stage, the audience would give a cat call by saying, "Hello, nurse." Some people still use that cat call, "Hello, nurse," when they see a pretty girl. Nurses' outfits are still very popular Halloween costumes. In fact, that's why I got mine. And there's quite a bit of controversy surrounding the sexy nurse costume. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, here are some sexy nurse costumes. A restaurant in Arizona called the Heart Attack Grill has really taken the whole naughty nurse uniform to heart. No pun intended. John Basso, the restaurant owner, dresses up his waitresses in revealing nurse uniforms as a part of a restaurant theme. The Arizona Board of Nursing is very upset over this. They were asking the Arizona Attorney General to enforce a law that basically says that only a person with a valid and current license to practice as a professional nurse can be called a nurse. And they were pursuing legal means to attempt to force the restaurant to get rid of its naughty nurse waitresses. Sandy Summers, executive director for the Center of Nursing Advocacy, had a lot to say about this. Let me read some of her quotes from an ABC News article. It's not only the heart attack grill, it's the whole naughty nurse image. Summers Group said the naughty nurse stereotype kills people, thousands of people, because it creates a nursing shortage by discouraging women from becoming nurses. Quote, it's a constant association of sex and nursing that we object to. And it creates an environment where people actually think the nurses are people who can have anonymous sex with, these brainless sluts, unquote. So let's keep this in mind. Although naughty nurse outfits might be fun, real nurses do a very important job and deserve respect. So in future videos, we are going to look at more pop culture icons, including the French maid. And we're also going to do a video about cheerleaders, where they came from and how they got so sexy. Thanks for watching. Please rate my video and see you next time.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.